once it clicked that this is what I want to do in my life. That's why I said that. That's why I mentioned that point. That you see that moment, it was very instrumental to me dropping out, because at the moment that I just discovered myself and I saw that this is it, automatically my brain shut down to every other thing. It wasn't like I wasn't even having time to read. I would stare at my notes.
And you seen joke.
I promise you, and I'm not even making this up. I have classmates. I have mates. I'll tell you during exam.
It's okay. Your was so.
They share exam like this. Yeah. Have you ever done an exam and you just and I will just sleep. And you just hear, if you are finished, submit. I've not written anything. There was a time, sometimes I would just be writing jokes on the question paper.
Jokes?
Not on the answer sheet. On the question paper. Because I don't know. I'm just, I don't know what I'm writing. I don't know anything. So I might as well just, there was one time, I left obviously I submitted, I left my question paper, I went to the hostel. I got to my hostel first because I was the first to finish. I was the first to finish. Obviously I didn't write it. So I left. My mates, when they got into the hostel to me, they were laughing hard. You know why?
Yeah.
Because the invigilator got to my desk and saw my question paper.
Yes.
And saw jokes. I was reading out the jokes I was writing and they were laughing. I can't even remember what the joke was now. But that's how bad and like I blocked, and this thing, what I'm saying now is in retrospect that it sounds
funny, but going through that phase, I went through it.
I was
now
depressed.
I was as well.
Not just because I could not finish school. But because of the effect it had on my parents.
Because that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, how did your parents take it?
It was bad. It was very bad.
For me to have finished, I didn't have it different. I wanted to drop out too. Because you were still my encouraging factor. Like, Chibi has Netflix special. I can also drop out too. And then I'll get Netflix special. I'll be doing well. But my mom was almost crying every day.
My mom was crying every day. So the truth is, I love my parents so much.
Yeah.
I love them so much. I really wanted to finish. In fact, that's why I came back for an extra year. I actually did come back for an extra year.
You still came back?
But I could not. I just could not. And it was so clear that I wasn't going to finish. And that's when we now finally settled that I was going to drop out. But it wasn't a pleasant thing. My father had to come with my brother. My brother had just come back from Jan at the time. And so one of his first assignments was to come and sign my withdrawal, my letter of withdrawal. And it was sad because it was gloomy. It was gloomy. I really wanted to get something because I know that they wanted it. But I couldn't. I just kept on failing. It was going down. In fact, there was a time, out of desperation, during my answer sheet, I started begging.
You did?
I wrote, sir, please. I promise you, I won't disgrace this school. I just need a D. I swear, I won't. I promise you, I swear to God, I will not. I was right. I'm not joking. No. This is not a lie. I swear to God, I will not use this degree. So I won't disgrace this school. I just want a D. I just want my parents to be happy. Do you know that? Those lecturers.
Guys are wicked.
They are wicked.
I'm telling you.
Do you know that guy wanted to report me? He said, I will report you. That's bribery. That's
for D.
For D. I beg. I wrote it for 4, and I failed the 4 of them. This boy is not serious. There was a time, we were doing one course. I think something. One of the lecturers, Dr. Agbetui, he just said, Salako, sit down. So, Pa James.
You know this guy?
Pa James, one of senior induction motors or something. I can't remember, electric motors. That's what it was. Pa James was sitting at the corner.
Yeah.
So once he said, Salako, sit down, he just turned back. Tani Salako. Salako, where's Salako? Where is he? And in that point, pointed at me, you're Salako. Why are you wasting your parents' money?
And okay, this is what I'm laughing about. It's not funny,
bro. Do you know that guy and my father became friends? I want to know your parents. My parents, I'm sure so. It was bad. I had so many stories to tell. There was one.
And okay, there was one that you told me that you went for an event outside school, and then the porter saw you with phone and you told Porter, sir.
Yeah. So I still remember some of those stories. First of all, let me start this way. There was a time that I knew at that point, I knew I was going to drop out. It was just a matter of time. Like I knew I'd lost interest. This was I was in. Okay, so there was a time during TTG when my set was TTG. Obviously, I had more units.
Time.
I had a lot of units. So that TTG, I was going in for fun. I was just going there to join my colleagues. So the time we came late, and I think was it the chaplain or someone was saying, if you don't come here now, I will ensure that you don't graduate. I know they graduate. I wanted to whisper, I'm not already graduating. I'm not graduating. It's the wrong threat. I'm not.
See another one.
This is the wrong threat. Oh, you are threatening the wrong person. I'm not. Oh, you don't understand. I'm leaving this. I'm not graduating anyway. So, but there was a time. This was extra year.
Yeah.
So CU was doing. I don't know where it was 10th anniversary, but everybody came back. Ima, oh my God, Ayola, Simi, everybody was in school. In fact, so many interesting things happened. In my set when I wasn't graduating, I'll come back to what I was saying before, but in my set when I wasn't graduating, school
told you to come at MC.
Wait, from year 3, when I started comedy, I started using my phone in school.
Okay.
Shout out to Covenant University. Phones were not allowed, but I used to smuggle my phone in. And I used to leave school almost every weekend. Because I had gigs. I was already doing gigs outside school. And I needed my phone so that
talk to your clients.
I used to codedly
and Facebook.
I used to codedly use my phone in school. Codedly. And so one night, my set was graduating, but I wasn't. But I was in school. I just got a call and I picked it. I just heard, this is so from student affairs. So from student affairs. I was like, have I been caught? What's going on? So from student affairs. We would like to inquire, will you be available to perform for the graduation? The graduation, Thanksgiving. I was like, yeah, how much?
They negotiated with you as a student.
They didn't know I was a student, apparently. Apparently, the same call they gave Imam, oh my God, that they gave me.
Okay.
Don't forget, I was already doing my stuff.
Yeah.
And I found that interesting because the day I went for I wasn't graduating. My father, I told my dad I was going to school. Say, why? My set was graduating. I said, oh, they called me to perform.
Yeah.
Say you're performing for your set.
Oh, Lojutin.
The day of my graduation, and this was another depressing thing.
Yeah.
Day of my graduation, my father calls me and goes, how do you feel? I said, I don't feel anyhow. I'm fine.
Nothing bothers you.
My father was pissed. He now said that one of his sons in church, his cousin was graduating. And so they were in school. And they called my dad. That son called my dad. He said, where is your son's tent? So it made him feel really bad. And I felt bad for him. So that day, what had happened was they came to school, the Mayola, and I was already doing extra year. But I saw it as an avenue. I brought out my phone. I put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I came out. So I was using my phone because everybody was using it. I was with Imam, oh my God, them. So it was. And so I killed it. I was one of the best performers of the night too. But I performed as OG. I performed as like someone that just came. Meanwhile, so they were all lodged in camp house. Or they had like a lodging arrangement. But then I was like, okay, because we had a gig the next day. We actually had a gig, 3 of us. We had a gig outside school the next day. So the idea, I wanted to just follow them to camp house. But I didn't have change of clothes. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll just go to the hostel. Then I'll come out in the morning like I would usually do. So I was walking back alone. I've removed my jacket now. I forgot that my phone was in my pocket. Usually I'll put my phone in my... So I forgot that my phone was in my pocket. And it was bulging out. But I didn't know. I was already lost in thoughts and basking in the euphoria of what a great night it was, seeing my guys again. As I got into the hostel, so I was walking in, But I just, hey, come.
Those guys, they use jazz.
And he looked, no, the pocket was bulgy.
Okay, budgie.
I've forgotten. And so when he said it, I immediately, shit, what's in your pocket? Bring it up. And I had a gig the next day. Do you know, I started telling this guy, and I meant it. I said, sir. He said, bring it. I said, sir. He said, bring it. I said, see here, if you give me this phone now, I will walk away from this school and you won't see me again.
It's like, who gives you all this? What?
I knew I was going to drop out. At that point, I was at the edge. I preferred the gig I had the next day to school.
Wait.
I was like, if you allow me leave, if you give me this phone, I promise I won't enter this hostel. And now you won't lose your job. I'll just walk away and you won't see me again in this school. Like I'll drop out. Like you won't see me, the guy no here.
But like, was there